Hello, this is Gene. I want to talk about, it's been about 24 hours after what happened in Charlottesville the other day, yesterday, and I'm pretty disappointed by the response to the quote-unquote alt-right. There are a lot of examples that I could point to that how we're treating the aftermath of what apparently looks to be like somebody who's a supporter of the alt-right. Obviously innocent until proven guilty, but clearly looked like the guy was trying to hurt somebody. And I'm finding people that I really respect, that I follow, that I've talked to many times through DM. I love their work, and they're saying now that we should put money together for this man's defense. And he is a man. He's like 20, so he's a man, and he has to be responsible for what he did. And people want to give him excuses because of the events that happened yesterday in Charlottesville. And of course, there's some that might actually believe that, but because some of the decisions that the cops made probably don't really benefit people on the alt-right, they might say things like this. But I said before the march that I thought it was ill-conceived to have all these type of people together that says they want to unite the right when there are people that are in the midst that aren't really about that. The ideas that we have, and at this point I'm not even going to consider myself in the alt-right anymore. I've been trying to figure out if I can actually find a label of what I believe, and I don't think the alt-right has it. I think I'm past it again. In the last 5 or 6 years, I've had a huge amount of change in my beliefs, and the alt-right and those who actually lead the alt-right, or the ones that are younger guys that are doing the alt-right. I don't believe how they're doing it. Their planning was abysmal, and there is some blame based on them of what happened last night. You just can't think about going into a place that you're going to have people with different viewpoints, that there's not going to be some sort of clashes. And our reaction after the first part of it, the artistic screeching that we did online about it, that we were saying that their rights were taken away from them. I'm talking about Nathan Domingo and Richard Spencer. Yeah, they had the right to do what they had to do, but at any point that if the town or something like that, teams that it believes that there's violence going to go on, they can stop these type of events. I don't like how they did it, that they basically separated the alt-right supporters against the other people and allowed them to just basically have free reign in town. And of course that led into what happened. I'm just really concerned about our reaction to it. We shouldn't have been like the people on some people on the right after what happened with the congressman, and we find out the guy was a supporter of Bernie Sanders. We should be above that. Our ideas are supposed to be the things that are going to keep us to what we need to have, to quote-unquote preserving the white culture or European heritage. And it's pretty freaking hot out here, just to let you know. You might see me actually sweat right now. It's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's probably about 95 degrees on this porch. But I felt like I needed to say what I had to say, because there are a lot of people I said that I follow on Twitter and watch their videos, and they're apoplectic right now, and some of the things that they're saying. And then clearly what was going to happen if something like this happened, all the people that we actually maybe considered might support us in some way in the media, when of course they're going to disavow, and they're going to make these little arguments that everybody that was out there is white supremacists. And that's not what I am. I believe that every other race is allowed to be proudful of their race and their culture, and I'm going to do that. And I don't need a label that I'm the alt-right to be behind that. So they're going to call us. They're going to call us that way anyway. Everybody in the media is going to do this anyway. So within the last 6 or 7 hours, Andrew Wilco, which I usually watch or listen to on Sirius, he's a conservative, He basically labeled everybody there that they were white supremacists. Paul Joseph Washington did the same thing, came out and basically said that, and he even had to go further and said 9 months ago that I disavowed them on his Twitter. He said that. I mean, in the past, Gavin McInnes have said things like that. People that may have been a conduit for people that got into the alt-right, who got into the alt-right, like those type of people actually made people actually research more, and then they went past them and they're in the alt-right. And they're just what media was always going to do. They're no different than the other media that's out there. They all want to be able to go home and make a lot of money from doing what they do, and so they're never going to go further into that. But they all know what we're talking about is important. But they have to disavow it, or they have to get themselves away from it. And everybody on the alt-right, including guys I really like Millennial Wallows, is going out calling him a coward and stuff like that. And I'm like, to me, they're irrelevant of the situation. Those people are not going to be able to do what we need to do. And those type of images that we saw is not helpful to the situation. And then when our leadership, before all this came out about the guy or the girl getting killed, that they come out saying this is the greatest thing ever because we got our speech got shut down. No, what we do is you figure out a better plan the next time so we can be able to be heard. And the problem is we have no leadership in this position. And again, I'm not going to consider myself part of this because they don't understand how to do it. They think by just saying we're going to be here and everybody's going to show up. You have to be able to control those people that are going to be marching with you. Of course, I'm not to say that you shouldn't be boisterous when you're marching and all that stuff, but it's just what they expect was going to happen. And I know everybody's going to say that I'm being cocky about it, but what do they think was going to happen? There was going to be clashes between people who are part of the alt-right and or the Antifa. And the point is that a lot of the people that we have out there are not really alt-right. And Andrew Wilcar basically said this today. He basically said that both sides are from the same political ideology. So he's equating people on the alt-right as National Socialists. So that's a leftist ideology. And of course Antifa is communists. So they figure we're pretty much the same. And he was talking about that none of them are really conservatives, constitutional conservatives, or libertarians. And he's wrong. Many people on the alt-right, that's where they came from. And I came as a classical liberal, and again, but unfortunately there are a lot of people, especially with new things in the South, you can have people that they're not really what the alt-right needs to be, okay? We need to celebrate white culture or European heritage. We should train and educate our young people, and we should share all that information that we have and say that this is what we need to do to preserve our culture. Do that through legislation and all that type of thing. By doing this, it's going to set it back a long way. And we already today, I think it was Lexington, said that the mayor is going to take down the Confederate statues now based on what happened in Charlottesville. So this is the blowback, and it's so strange when people consider themselves alt-right or alt-light, get online and say, I understand, like nobody's really looking at that there was Antifa who started everything, and I'm like, these people still believe that Michael Brown had his hands up. The media is not going to be on your side. Our ideas have to win the fucking day. And you can sit there and complain about all this shit and saying that we were treated unfairly by the cops, but that's not going to make anything. It's just people going to look at you and say you don't have the leadership or the plan to do anything. And another person actually put something out there saying that there's two sides, and this is three sides between Antifa and the alt-right, that there's somebody playing us both. Well, maybe that's true. And I said, well, who's the third side? And she says, well, who benefits from this? Well, it's the old freaking thing that everybody always says. Well, somebody's doing the things and they're benefiting from it, and they want to divide us, like Soros is doing all this stuff. And I'm not saying that he's not, but I said yesterday in my video, we got to stop blaming the Jews and the government. Our ideas have to win out, and we we have this ability because we have the internet, we have social media, we have young people on our side, but they will leave that quick, as easy as they came, if they think that we're just doing this just for some sort of attention whoring type of shit. And a lot of shit that we see out there is that. It's not really what needs to be done. And I hope that people like Jared Taylor and some of the other older guys in the movement would sit down with Nathan and registered and get their act together. Again, I'm not a fan of either one of them. I still don't necessarily believe that Nathan should have what he did at Berkeley. I don't think that was necessary. However, he did what he did. And Richard is a lefty. And the point is that if he wants to be part of the National Socialist movement in this country, fair play on him. That he can march with people who are National Socialists. The people who are talking about the alt-right are trying to make sure that the heritage of European people will be saved, because we have this debt to the people that came here before us, that we should believe that we should always preserve the past and make sure that it goes forward in the future, teach our kids all this shit. I talked about it yesterday in my video. Get immigration to the right way, teach our kids, and put pride in family, and make white people continue to reproduce and restrict abortions. We're not going to get anything by just putting flags going around and have stupid ass chants that make us look like we're the KKK. That has got to stop. We have to get better than this. And it doesn't matter what. The people on the other right, the other side, are going to call you Nazis regardless of what you believe. So that's basically it. I'm freaking flinching right here. I'm sweating so much. So I'm going to stop. But we need there's a check I said yesterday we need to do with the alt-right. It continues to go on to, and the people need to understand what happened yesterday is still partially our fault, and we need to accept that, and we need to disavow this person for what he did. Again, innocent till proven guilty, but we should disavow it, regardless of his ideology. I'll talk to you later, maybe when it's not so hot. You guys have a good day, and I'll look in your comments after you have them. Goodbye.